Hello, hello. Welcome to the live for The Blue Castle, a book that I read a couple weeks ago now, so I forgot the title of. I loved this book, so I'm excited to be here talking about it tonight. If you guys can hear me and everything, let me know in the comments, just so I know that we're good to go. I'm definitely excited to talk about The Blue Castle. Yay! Hello, Lindsay. Glad you can hear me. I need to email you. It's on my mental list of things to do. Welcome, Sarah. Hey, Haley. I saw that you have a video. I haven't watched your video yet, your video on the book, but I'm excited to watch it and see what you all loved. Was this a first time read for you? And those of you, the rest of you, was this your first time reading The Blue Castle, or have you read it before, is what I'm trying to say. Ooh, hello from Australia. Welcome here. So funny, I was looking at my tabs before starting here, and I tabbed a ton of stuff in the first 100-ish pages of the book. Lots of things for me to talk about tonight. Welcome, Judy. I'm excited that there are some people here. I know some decided that they were just going to follow along for the Anne books for the year, which is totally fine. But The Blue Castle is so great. I was hoping not everyone would bail. So I'm glad there's some people that have stuck with it. Okay, so this was Haley's first time reading it, an instant favorite. Great. And if you guys haven't already watched her video, if you're like me, definitely watch that yet. You've read it many times, a firm favorite. Yes. One of your favorite books of all time. First time read. Nice. Oh, Sarah usually reads it once a year. That's awesome. Oh, okay. This is off topic, Lindsay, but that is great. Okay, cool. Well, I will still email you for sure. Yeah, okay. So, love hearing that everyone that was willing to comment loved it. If anyone disliked it, they didn't comment. But I feel like this is definitely one of L.M. Montgomery's most beloved books, if people have read it. I feel like a lot of people don't really get beyond Anne of Green Gables, generally don't finish out the series. Maybe they read the Emily books, but not many people get to this one, but everyone that does seems to love it. So that's what's good to see. I love that it's her only adult book. I didn't actually think about that. Interesting. I'm like going through all the books now and trying to mentally think through. Okay. People loving it. That's great. Let's just dive in. I want to start, I think, by talking about some of the characters. Should we just jump in and talk about Valency? Okay. Now, let's talk about Valency at the beginning of the book, because then from there we can talk about some of those characters, all her relatives, really, that are in her life at the beginning. So, what are your guys' thoughts about Valency in the beginning? I, like, my second read through now, didn't remember her being so annoying. I knew that it was going to be worth it because I remembered, like, the essence of the book. But I was like, grow a backbone, girl. Like, these people treat you like you're a 5-year-old and you just turned 29. I know she was being respectful and but she did drive me nuts a little bit at the beginning, just how she was. Actually, I didn't even tab everything because there were so many things that I was underlining. All her life she'd been afraid of something, and I actually wrote, can't wait for her to get some backbone. She's doing her hair without a mirror. Yeah, just scared of life. Well, scared of her relatives. She starts right at the beginning. So many things. 29 years old, and one does not sleep well sometimes when one is 29 on the morrow and unmarried, in a community and connection where the unmarried are simply those who have failed to get a man. Yeah. So at the beginning, she definitely annoyed me, but I knew she was gonna get better. Okay. I think that's the only one she wrote specifically for adults. It totally could be. I'm just like trying to think through. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, you want her to be stronger at the start, but you know there has to be change. That's exactly it. It's like, okay, I know the growth is going to happen, but this poor girl and like her family just kicking her when she's down. Okay. Oh, here we go. Haley. She's a people pleaser, Haley. Okay. I felt her struggle, but also wanted her so badly to speak up for herself and make her own choices. Yeah. I guess I'm just not really that much of a people pleaser, which is a struggle in its own. So it's nice that you could at least relate to that, but also wanted some growth. Yeah. And I mean, instantly, it's on page. What page was it? It wasn't even page 50 in my book here. Page 42 in my book is when she gets her 1 year to live diagnosis. Valency Sterling, who had never lived, was about to die. Like, it's just, it has this realization that she has never lived her life yet. Oops, I was going to click Lindsay's here. Love seeing the growth in her. I, too, am a huge people pleaser, especially with family. Yes. Lindsay, did you say this was your first time reading it through? I don't remember if you said. But I think a lot of people do like it more than Anne if they're willing to read it. Her family are such great characters, but horrid people. Yeah. I get her trying to keep the peace for an easier life. That is true. That is a good point, Elizabeth. Because once she decides to break out of her mold, things change for sure. So yeah, she's diagnosed with this 1 year to live, dangerous and fatal form of heart disease. And then she chooses to not tell her family. She found herself smiling inwardly to think what a commotion she could make if she chose. But she doesn't, which is an interesting choice. I want to get back into reading and recently found out about this book. Oh, I hope you read it and love it. Wasn't able to read it in time for this discussion, but it's next on your TBR. Okay, well, don't listen. I don't want to spoil anything for you. We're only right now at page like 45 talking about it, so there's no spoilers here yet, but please don't keep listening until you've read the book. Yes, both of you here. Definitely read it. But there's some good stuff coming. Danica is from PEI. That's perfect. Where's the Blue Castle set, actually? Like, Because, Avonlea, PEI, but is there actually a actual location for the Blue Castle? Now I'm wondering. Oh, Ontario. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I love seeing Spunky Valency come to life. I think she took a stand without crossing too many lines and being rude. Honestly, her family was so rude to her. Her one uncle that cracked all those stupid jokes, and I think I highlighted when she finally just told him, like, get some better jokes. And I was like, yeah, about time. I'm going to see if I can find it here. About time he hears this. And I think her family was mostly just shocked. Especially her mom and cousin Stickles. Is that what her name is? She was there was this one spot in chapter 9 when Valency had read Magic of Wings on a Sunday afternoon. When cousin Stickles had rebuked her, Valency had said indifferently, "Oh, I forgot it was Sunday," and had gone on reading it. The horror. Anyway, I was trying to find where she was talking to her uncle. Oh, why don't you hunt up some new riddles if you must? It is such a fatal mistake to try to be funny if you don't succeed. Truth. Yeah, some of your guys' thoughts on her family? Love to hear that. I remember reading that about diagnosis and feeling shocked and then sad and so pumped for her changes. Yeah, there's a lot going on. It took me 40 to 50 pages to realize it wasn't on PEI. Yeah, I feel like because that's a big thing with L.M. Montgomery because of Anne and so many of her other books, it just feels like they're all set there. Yeah. Hey Tabitha, I really enjoyed this book. It was a slower read, not in an I'm not that interested way, more of an I'm enjoying this at a leisurely pace and not losing the thread way. I totally get it. Yeah. I just actually finished a book like that last night where it was like, I'm enjoying it, but it feels like it's lasting forever. I mentioned it on Patreon with the Page Count Reading Challenge, and then the last like 35% of the book I just devoured. And then I was reading the author's note and my mind was just blowing. So I do understand that kind of reading. I love some of her family noted how dinners became more interesting with Valency going mad. Yeah. Another cousin Stickles line. Won't you try to remember you're a lady? She pleaded. Oh, if there were only any hope of being able to forget it, said Valency wearily. Mrs. Frederick felt like she had not deserved this from Providence. It actually took me a long time to realize/remember that Mrs. Frederick was Valency's mom. Their relationship is so not great right off the bat that she doesn't even get called mom, or she isn't referred to as mom in the book. Crazy. I think it's just hilarious when she finally starts telling her family what she really thinks. The dinner party scene was great. Yeah. She really started to let loose, hey? Oh, man. Definitely sometimes it would be pretty funny if people could like actually share everything they were thinking without ruining too many relationships, but that was funny to read about. I do like one of the aunts and uncles, but they didn't consider her feelings at all. Yes, there were some that were a little bit better, but it was not like they stood up for her or anything. I always like to read this book slowly to savor it. I think I just devoured it this time. Apparently, I only gave it 4 stars on Goodreads the first time I read it. I totally thought it was 5 stars. And so I've bumped it up to 5. Okay, yeah, so she had a couple of relatives that she lets know her thoughts, her true thoughts. There was a funny scene. I love when Ella Montgomery inserts things about cats, knowing that she liked cats, and I love how they appear. I haven't checked, but like pretty much in every book, some kind of reference. They were talking about Barney at the dinner party. They say he keeps dozens of cats in that hut up back. Cats, it sounded quite alluring to Valency, in the plural. Oh yeah, because her mom had a thing against cats, right? I think I might have underlined that at some point. That alone shows there's something wrong with him, decreed Aunt Isabel. People who don't like cats, said Valency, attacking her dessert with a relish, always seem to think that there is some peculiar virtue in not liking them. Yeah, there was definitely something else about a cat. I remember that now. I read this at the beginning of the month because I was so excited to read it. Normally, I'm a procrastinator and would have just read it in the last week. But this time, I just read it right at the beginning of June. Mrs. Frederick, I didn't like her at all. She's so concerned about appearances. Didn't really actually seem to care for her daughter. I was thinking that if this happened in some places in history, her family would have put her in a mental hospital. Yeah, well, I think her family was kind of thinking about it. Other than maybe that would have looked bad to their neighbors. Probably why they didn't. But I think they were thinking about it. Okay. Oh, I didn't listen to the audiobook. Kelly Traeger narrated audiobook. I got my first kitten at the end of March. We are obsessed. Nice. Now you just need a dozen or so. I loved how the Uncle James went to see the doctor and he was like, we can't just lock people away. And Valency's behavior seems fine to me. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one. And Uncle James thought he wasn't much of a doctor. It definitely, I mean, maybe we're still like this now, but especially back then, especially if people had some money, they really just wanted the doctors to say whatever they wanted them to say, right? Oh, more cat people. I can hear my cat meowing right now. Kelly is Canadian, so she sounds great. Canadian from where? Because so many different accents in Canada. Okay. Then, according to my tabs, I am at the part where we find that Sissy Gray is dying. This is a very pivotal moment in the book. I mean, Valency always knew this, but somehow now, with her 1 year to live, she's willing to throw caution in the wind. We're talking someone. Okay, they were talking about Sissy Gay and how she's a bad girl, shouldn't really have people taking care of her. And Valency says, Sissy Gay is dying, and it's a shame and disgrace that she's dying in a Christian community with no one to do anything for her. Whatever she's been or done, she's a human being. Love that. And then Uncle James, well, when it comes to that, I suppose she is. Oh yeah, so they're quoting Valency here. I asked Doss if she had no regard for appearances. She said, I've been keeping up appearances all my life. Now I'm going in for realities. Appearance can go hang. Go hang. An outrageous thing. So this is when Valency has decided that she's going to go and nurse Sissy. I loved that. And I especially love the contrast of at the beginning of the book, Valency has her chores where she's supposed to dust and nothing's dusty and hates cleaning because everything's already clean. And then she just attacks, what was his name? Abel? And Sissy's house just with a frenzy. Like, she's excited to clean something that actually needs to be cleaned. She's excited to be somewhere where she's actually wanted, needed, can be a help. I loved that change. Valency was the only one to show true Christian charity towards all of the outcasts. Yeah. One of my favorite things about her character. Yes. I like it's so interesting though, because all this stuff was going on before she was diagnosed, and she didn't do anything about it. So it's unfortunate that it took such a big life-threatening thing for her to take action, but at least she took action. And one of my questions, I wasn't sure when we would talk about this, but the idea of finding out that you only have 1 year to live, like if you got told that today, what would you change about your life? Like, is there, and there is things a person would change because you'd kind of throw caution into the wind a little bit more than you would, which is what she did, I guess. But then there's an element of like, why don't you change that now? But a person could maybe take a year off of working and travel the world if you wanted, for instance. But you couldn't just do that necessarily if you also had to continue to live after the year. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, but what was the country song back in the day? Live Like You're Dying. It's definitely something to think about. Okay, so, oh, and Valency, she didn't even take her flannel petticoat when she went to live with Roaring Abel. Yeah, that was his name. And Sissy. Lindy's not there. I'm not the only one thinking of that song. Lindy's thinking of it too. And look at the nice ankles of her. That's one of the things I underlined. I don't even know the reference. Oh, this is what Roaring Abel was thinking about Valency. No, he said it. That's funny. Yes, Tim McGraw, that's right. Yes, I definitely had a country music phase in that time period. How sad. She left her petticoat, the one that she hated so much. So the nice ankles was the first compliment she had ever received in her life, and she found herself liking it. She sometimes suspected she had nice ankles, but nobody had ever mentioned it before. In the Sterling clan, ankles were among the unmentionables. How terrible. She's living with her mom and her cousin, and this is the first compliment she's ever received in her life. Even if you think of Montgomery's other characters like Anne, I feel like she'd been complimented on her nose before the age of 29. That's sad that she's so thrilled about this comment. Imagine that being your first compliment. Yeah, the ankles are not as like attractive as a thing now as I think that they once were. Doesn't sound like the best first compliment. Yeah. Not so much to us, right? But apparently over the moon, excited about it. So she cares for Sissy. Oh yeah, and then she tries going to some different churches, which was very scandalous. For the first time in her life, she liked going to church. The rumor reached Deerwood that she had turned Free Methodist and sent Mrs. Frederick to bed for a day. But Valency had not turned anything. She went to the church because she liked it, and because in some inexplicable way it did her good. Old Mr. Towers believed exactly what he preached, and somehow it made a tremendous difference. Go figure. Go figure. Yeah, Roaring Abel. Any thoughts on Roaring Abel? And at this point, Barney's kind of been in the background, like he's coming in here now. I find it interesting. My first read through, I knew nothing about this book going in, and Barney's mentioned right from the beginning. She defends him before she's really doing much of anything. I mean, she's sticking up for herself a bit, but before she even knows anything about him, she's sticking up for Barney and even Roaring Abel. And then she kind of gets to know them both better and likes them even more. They're a little bit more rough around the edges, but like what you see is what you get. Whereas I think with her family, what you see is not what was underneath. Everything was about looking good. And so their words didn't match their like outward appearance, or their thoughts didn't match their outward appearance. And I think what Valency loved so much about Roaring Abel and Barney is that they were who they were, and they didn't try to be someone else. Haley, I loved that. This is in regards to the church thing. Even in modern times, we can hold too tightly to our denomination and the church as a body. I loved Roaring Abel, a true picture of wrestling flesh and spirit. Yes, and I loved his like different levels of like drunkenness. He had like, these different states, and they knew it, and they could just forgive him for, his issues. She likes a smile, Barney's, and thinks someone that smiles like that can't be bad. Yeah. She doesn't listen to all the stories. There's one scene, and I think I underlined it. I think it's coming up that I thought was hilarious. So I'll mention that yet. Roaring Abel is a great character. My mom adored L.M. Montgomery, and we read this together when I was a teen, and both loved Roaring Abel and Barney. Yeah. It was always so obvious she liked him. Oh, yeah. I laughed out loud when he throws Uncle James out of the house. Yes, that's coming up. Mm-hmm. Okay, where was I here? Oh, when they run out of gas after the party, which Barney saves her from, then her cousin Olive and her uncle drive up and help them with some gas. And then Valency says she's been having the time of her life. Doss, I can't believe you're bad. I've always said you couldn't be bad. I don't believe I can be, said Valency. I'm afraid I'm hopelessly proper. I've been sitting here for 3 hours with Barney, and he hasn't even tried to kiss me. I wouldn't have minded if he had, Olive. 3 hours. Just so proper. Just sitting there. And then actually, I should just wait a second here. Olive was funny. Olive is such an interesting character because she was always the like, you're not as good as Olive. And then she really changes. And in that scene, Olive is like, wait a minute, is Valency pretty? Like, I've never thought of this before. With the petrol, such a fun scene. Yes. Okay, so then Sissy dies, and Valency obviously needs to leave the house. Definitely wouldn't be proper for her to be living with Roaring Abel. Even she's not willing to go that far, I think. Interesting how proper she was when her family thought she was really bad. Yeah. Totally. And then she proposes to Barney. It's so interesting. I knew the general idea of the book, but I forgot all these details. And Barney asks if there's anything he can do for her, and she says, "Yes, there's something you can do for me. Will you marry me?" Totally forgot that was coming. I mean, I knew it was coming at some point. I didn't realize it was coming right then. And then afterwards, "Dear me, I'm glad that this is over. It has been a bit of an ordeal. You see, I'm not in the habit of going about asking men to marry me. It is so nice of you not to refuse me or offer to be a bother." Yeah, that's when was this one published again? Definitely out of character for the time, 1926. And she proposed to him. And then proposes this, like, arrangement of sorts. Not really a marriage, just an arrangement. All of the crazy L.M. Montgomery proposals. Yeah. She really... And it seems so out there. But then when you hear how many she had, I guess it's kind of legit. That kind of proposal is something. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely. I mean, Maud refused a few proposals, so she's writing from experience. Maybe not the asking a guy to marry her one, but I think a lot of the Anne ones are her own personal experience, which is pretty cringy when you think of some of the Anne ones. There were some cringy ones. Oh, okay, here is what I wanted to get to. What I was mentioning before is they're married and they get to his house and he's like, "You can't go into the lean-to. You can't tidy the lean-to. You can't even enter it. The door will be locked and I shall keep the key." "Bluebeard's chamber," said Valency. "I shan't even think of it. I don't care how many wives you have hanging up in it, so long as they're really dead. Dead as doornails." The trust that she has in him. Yeah, she thinks he has a nice smile and he can't be bad. But she's only heard negative things from her relatives, I'm assuming from other people in town. What did they say? Was it that he had killed a man and he had left a wife somewhere? Were those? I don't remember the details, but like pretty serious accusations. And she is just okay with not even checking in his room to see if there's anyone like locked up or anything, or if there's skeletons hanging there. It's kind of terrifying, honestly. I loved this proposal and so fun seeing her change to be able to do this. Yeah, that was definitely some growth in her life there. That was a great line about the wives in the shed. Oh, yeah. I just thought how cold it would be in that lean-to. Well, they'd be frozen, I guess. She could rule out her relatives' opinions based on what they thought of her. True. True. Did he have wives before? Well, that's the thing. We don't know at this point. That kind of trust is such a rarity. So refreshing. I also wonder, too, because she's like, I have now at this point less than a year to live. So what if he kills me? I don't know. Like, if that wasn't mentioned. But she seems to have zero fear of being there. I guess she also trusted a roaring Abel, and he loved Barney. Yeah, that is true. Valency's like, well, if we're doing this for only a year, it's fine by me. Mm-hmm. Whatever it may be. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then she goes back to her family to tell her mother and stuff that she got married. And her aunt, before she gets into the house, her aunt is telling her, oh no, wait, it's cousin Georgina? Anyway, she was saying about this guy, Edward Beck. He's that old man with dozens and dozens of children who always sit on the pew. Oh, not dozens of children, dear. Oh, no, not dozens. Not even 1 dozen. Only 9. Yeah, like she'd want to marry this old guy with 9 children. Oh yeah, this is right. She just says not to mention her heart and death and hands him a letter. That is right. I forgot about it. Georgiana. Okay, nice. Okay, Barney. Why, they say he has dozens of wives already. I'm the only one round at present. So she really didn't care if he was married once or a dozen times. She's the only one around. And then her rosebush was blooming. The rosebush that she hacked away at the beginning of the book. And then I just had this thought about how when we go through a hard season, somehow I feel like we are God's rosebush, and he is pruning us as we go through a difficult season, and you can feel the pain of each branch coming off. But then after the pruning is done, the flourishing that can happen is what that whole scene made me think about. She says, "Look at my rose bush. Why, it's blooming. It was covered with blossoms, great crimson velvety blossoms, fragrant, glowing, wonderful. My cutting it to pieces must have done it good," said Valency, laughing. Yeah, I liked that part for sure. Okay, here's another Uncle James scene. "Did you mean to say that you have actually gone and married that notorious Barney, that criminal, that—" "I have." "Then," said Uncle James violently, "you are a shameless creature, lost to all sense of propriety and virtue, and I wash my hands entirely of you. I do not want ever to see your face again." "What have you left to say when I commit murder?" asked Valency. And like her humor that just comes out. It did say at the beginning that she did have a sense of humor, but her family didn't know it. I had it underlined somewhere. See if I can find it. "For she had a sense of humor nobody in her clan suspected. For that matter, there were many good things about Valency that no one suspected." That's on page 2. And you really see that sense of humor coming through, both with the dozens of dead wives in the lean-to and what have you left to say when I commit murder? And she really calls out her family. "The trouble with you people is that you don't laugh enough." And then why it surely isn't indecent to like to have your husband put his arm around you. I should think it would be indecent if you didn't. Yeah. Pointing out a few flaws maybe they have in their life. Sarah likes her sense of humor too. The whole the title of the book is The Blue Castle, and this is like this imaginary space, this place that Valency always dreamed of. And then she gets to live in this place that is beautiful. And it becomes her blue castle. I love that. Wow, then I didn't underline anything for a really long time. Lots of stuff happens at the end of the book. Did anyone, like the first time you read it, Did you see those reveals coming at the end? I was reading this book for the second time and had forgot about Barney's past. I was reading and I was like, "What? I know there's something. Like, what was it?" And I totally forgot about him. Even with the hints, I was like trying to remember. Love that she says she got her own husband by asking him. Yeah. Love that she had a place to escape to in her mind. Yeah, for sure. Elizabeth guessed his past. Good for you. Better than me. This time I thought Barney might be John Foster, but I didn't know if I was just remembering. Oh yeah, that was the one thing I did remember. But the part with who his dad was, totally forgot about that. And the fact that he was rich, I was like, does he make a lot of money from his books? Forgot about the whole family element to it. So then when we got to that scene where there's like this limousine um, by the dock where they go to their house, I was like, oh, just felt like a wow moment, even though it was my second time reading the book. Yeah. And she, loved him for who he was, loved that, and wasn't just after him for his money. And this scene, I guess, just before his dad comes, is the scene where she's stuck on the train tracks. And they both have these like massive realizations in this moment. After the moment, I guess. One, she realizes, huh, I didn't die from that. I think I should have died from that. And that's where he realizes he loves her and he doesn't know how to handle that. Yeah, he definitely had money from somewhere. I definitely thought he was John Foster during my first read, but I wouldn't have guessed anything further. Both his father's riches and the John Foster was easy to see as she dropped so many hints. She did, but I didn't get it all. I was surprised by him being Redfern's son. I figured he had money from somewhere and wondered if he was Foster. Yeah, read the book like 15 years ago. Like how he spoke like John Foster when discussing nature. I don't think I saw the ending coming the first time, except the part where he throws the purple pills away and tells her never to buy them again. Yeah, I remember that part, or like as I read that part, I was like, so he doesn't like these pills, but I don't like. Is it just because the guy's a quack? I didn't remember even the second time through. Totally forgot. Yeah. So then, yeah, her and Barney kind of live this happily ever after life, which is just something that she needed. She goes back to see the doctor, finds out that letter was never meant for her. Oh. And then I find it very interesting that I guess the last chapter is with Valency and Barney. But the second last chapter, very interesting, is an extract from a letter written by Miss Olive Sterling to Mr. Cecil Bruce. So she's writing to her boyfriend, fiance, I don't remember what he was. Like none of this book is written in letters. Very interesting that she decides to put this one letter in. There's this one line that just cracks me up. She's telling him, I really think, Cecil, you should exercise more. It doesn't do to get too fleshy. Too fleshy? What a romantic letter that is. It cracked me up. I literally wrote LOL next to that. Yeah. And she gets her blue castle. She gets to travel. She ends up getting all she dreamed of and more. I knew Valency doesn't die, so I was wondering where the mix-up was. Both times through too, haven't ever noticed, and I never went back to check, that the letter is actually written, the name is written incorrectly because it was meant for another lady? Never noticed that. So funny to me that the secret rich man trope felt so modern. Yeah, it's so common in fluffy romance films now. Yep, that's true. Olive is so catty. That describes her well. The ending is absolutely perfect. The type of ending that people dream of. Definitely. Yeah, I think Olive, I'd like to see a follow-up book with Olive's life. Hey, Margaret. Hope you loved it. Need to get a physical copy of this. I have it on Kobo and only did minimal annotations. Yeah, definitely worth the physical copy. I'm thankful that they did a Tundra edition of this one, since they did a smattering of her books, probably the ones that at the time were in the public domain. But yeah, I love it. And I came across a really old copy of The Blue Castle at a thrift store the other day. I shared it on my vlog channel. It was hard for me to leave it at the thrift store, but it was literally scotch taped together, and it was $10, and it just looked like it was going to fall apart, and so I just couldn't justify it, but I had a hard time leaving that there. Yes, the Sterling last name is apparently spelt a little bit different. Tina's first time reading it, really enjoyed it. Want a physical copy too. Definitely one to own. And I loved annotating it. Well, actually, I didn't really write much this time. I only have a few spots that I... Oh, yeah. I did annotate another spot that I forgot to mention. I knew that earlier there was a mention of cats. Cats are most dangerous animals, said Mrs. Frederick. I would never have a cat about the house. She glared significantly at Valency through her terrible glasses. Once, 5 years ago, Valency had asked if she might have a cat. She had never referred to it since, but Mrs. Frederick still suspected her of harboring the unlawful desire in her heart of hearts. I wrote, LOL, the horror to wish for a cat. If they're falling apart, I can't get it. Yeah. And if it had been like $1 or $2, maybe I would have and tried to figure it out. But $10, and then yeah, I couldn't do it. I want to get a physical copy for a reread. I just read it and felt like rereading it right away. What a comfort read. It really is. Yeah. I have 3 copies, a physical, ebook, and audiobook, but would love another from the 80s. Yeah, this is, I mean, Maud is one of my authors that I don't mind collecting a variety of editions for. But I only own the one copy of The Blue Castle, I think. I have quite a few of her books. I'm pretty sure this is my only copy of this one. I don't understand what's wrong with cats. I don't know. Mrs. Frederick just really didn't like them. And Maud does that with her characters generally, because Maud loved cats. So her good characters like cats and her bad characters don't like cats is often what she does. Okay. I think that is all for my thoughts here. I want to hear if you guys have more thoughts. But I think I've gone over everything. Checking my list here. Yeah, I think so. Collecting the 80s covers we got in Australia for the Lucy Maud Montgomery books. Are those the ones that we have here too? I'm going to see if I can find a copy. Oh, wait, I think I have one here. Is it the ones with these covers? I think I have some other ones too that have like the color on the outside, but I don't know if I have any in here. Are they the similar covers that you guys got? I recommend this book all the time. So many people know that Lucy Maud Montgomery is my favorite author. That's good. That's good. I want more people to be reading her books. Oh, good question, Lindy. Why do you think Valency no longer had colds after leaving home? Wasn't it her mother? Okay. She said, I know I have this underlined somewhere, but I underlined so much at the beginning. See if I can find it. I think, said Mrs. Frederick, if a person makes up her mind not to have colds, she will not have colds. So that was the trouble. It was all Valency's own fault. I wrote, yeah, that's not how it works. But I do think that, like, getting out and living life for the average healthy person is probably better than sitting at home and doing nothing. So maybe her time outside, time walking around after she left home, working a little harder, having a reason to work harder, maybe that's part of it. Whoa, I own about 70 books about her and related to her. That is so cool. I just found a book. Okay, gotta get another book. I was just at the library a couple days ago, and I found Before Green Gables was on the books to buy section, and I got it for $1. So I have no idea if it's any good. Has anyone read it? It's by Budge Wilson. This is supposed to be the story of Anne before Green Gables. I mean, it's kind of in the title. And what I found out is the hardcover is absolutely gorgeous. I love that. So this might be my book that I read for December. Sarah, what are some of your favorite books about her and related to her? I would love to hear that. It was funny how the family, especially Uncle Benjamin, really approved the marriage to Barney after finding out who he was. Well, how rich he was, really, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah. The hardcovers. I don't know which edition you have. Interesting. Oh, good point, Lindsay. A stressful environment could have made her sick, yeah. I felt her activity and feeling happier helped. Tabitha has that one from this one. I'm assuming this one from the library right now. Haven't started yet. I love the term snobocracy in chapter 11. Oh, I gotta find this. Chapter 11. He can, it seems, get along without you. I totally missed that part. I'll have to go back and look for it. That was such a funny time when she was a little bit spunky. Looking for Anne of Green Gables. Okay, I gotta write this down. Looking for Anne of Green Gables by Irene Gamble. I'm gonna look it up. Oh, okay. I've definitely seen the cover of this one. Okay. The author of Before Green Gables, that one's Budge Wilson, I think. The Gift of Wings biography. That's one I really want to read because they're making a TV show with Megan Follows playing Maud, and they're basing it off of that book. So my original thought was to read it in December I kind of have like that blank Maud space. My plan was to buy it and read it that month. Yeah, I definitely want to try that one. I got a troll. Just ignore. Yeah. I'm going to write these books down. Okay. Well, I think that we are probably done here, although I don't know about everyone else, but I want to see Sarah's collection of her 70 plus books. Going to read Emily of New Moon in December. That's good. Oh, the book for next month is Chronicles of Avonlea. So this is short stories, and I think it was copyright 1912. So I'm guessing it should be in the public domain if you can't get your hands on it. I'll just double check before I stake my life on that. Yeah, it looks like it's on Project Gutenberg if you can't get your hands on a physical copy, although Project Gutenberg's not working for me right now. But it looks like it's on there. Yeah, I really like the Emily books too. I just finished the series like a year or two ago or something, and otherwise I would have put them on this read along. But I wanted to try to prioritize some that it's been a little bit longer since I read. So that's why it's not on here. Sarah smiles. Doesn't offer to show us her whole collection. Doesn't offer to take us on a tour. Okay. Well, thanks for coming out, guys. Chatting with me. Yay. Oh, it's maybe a little off topic, but you've inspired me to read Anne of Green Gables, and I love it. That is 100% on topic. Love it. Reading Emily of New Moon next after Jane Austen July. Some people do like her better than Anne. She is less Pollyanna. Now the sun is coming out. I'm staring into the sun. She's just, she's a little bit more serious. Lindy read Chronicles of Avonlea last year. The stories were really lovely. One of my classmates hates Anne's character. Excuse me. That's too bad. I mean, have they read the whole series? Because she changes a bit. Thanks for coming out and chatting. I appreciate hearing all your guys' thoughts. Makes it, first of all, it gives me the accountability to make sure I'm actually reading the books that I want to be reading. And then it makes it more enjoyable to hear your guys' thoughts. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. And I don't have a date yet for Chronicles of Avonlea, but I will pick a date and probably share it on my TBR video. So I'll let you guys know soon. Thanks so much for coming out.